China has been developing weapons for decades with a single mission. That mission is to defeat the United States of America. They call it Shashujian, the Assassin's Mace, an ancient Chinese concept, a hidden weapon so decisive, so overwhelming, that it defeats a vastly superior enemy in a single blow. And what you're about to hear will change how you see the balance of global power forever. Because while America built the most powerful conventional military in human history, China didn't try to match it. They studied it. They mapped every vulnerability, every blind spot, every critical system the US military cannot function without. And then they spent 30 years building weapons designed to destroy those systems in the opening hours of a conflict, before American forces can even respond. This is asymmetric warfare at its most dangerous, and it is already deployed. The first weapon in China's Assassin's Mace arsenal is anti-ship ballistic missiles, specifically the DF-21D and the DF-26, weapons the Pentagon has openly called carrier killers. A U.S. aircraft carrier strike group is the most powerful conventional force projection tool ever created. It takes years and billions of dollars to build, thousands of sailors, dozens of aircraft, and the DF-21D was built for one purpose: to sink it. With a range exceeding 1,500 kilometers and a maneuverable warhead traveling at hypersonic speeds, it is designed to saturate carrier defenses before intercept is possible. No Navy in history has ever faced a weapon like this at scale. The US Navy is now facing an entire fleet of them, but that is only the beginning. China's second category of Assassin's Mace weapons targets something even more critical than ships. It targets the invisible infrastructure that makes American military power possible: satellites. The US military depends on space for everything: GPS precision, missile guidance, surveillance, secure communications, logistics coordination. Without satellites, the American military is not weakened. It is effectively blinded. China knows this. And in 2007, they demonstrated to the entire world exactly what they intend to do about it. A single Chinese ballistic missile launched from Earth destroyed one of their own satellites in low orbit. A direct message to Washington. Since then, Chinese investment in anti-satellite weapons, directed energy lasers, and electronic warfare systems designed to jam or permanently disable US space assets has accelerated dramatically. A 2023 Pentagon report confirmed China now possesses ground-based laser systems capable of blinding reconnaissance satellites. The US Space Force was not created because space is peaceful. It was created because China has turned orbit into a battlefield. The third weapon is perhaps the least visible and the most terrifying. Cyber warfare capabilities so advanced that US intelligence officials describe them not as a future threat, but as an active, ongoing campaign. In 2023, a Chinese state-sponsored hacking group designated Volt Typhoon was discovered embedded inside critical American infrastructure: power grids, water systems, communications networks, not stealing data, but lying dormant, pre-positioning for a potential conflict. The goal was not espionage, it was sabotage capability, the ability to trigger cascading infrastructure failures across the American homeland at the moment a conflict begins, before a single missile is fired. This is what Shashujian looks like in the digital age. And then there is the weapon that keeps Pentagon strategists awake more than any other: hypersonic missiles. China has tested and deployed the DF-17, a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of traveling at Mach 10 times the speed of sound, while maneuvering unpredictably through the atmosphere. Current US missile defense systems were designed to intercept ballistic trajectories. Hypersonic glide vehicles don't follow trajectories. They fly in the gaps, the seams, the blind spots in America's entire defensive architecture. As of today, the United States has no reliable operational defense against a mass hypersonic strike. The picture that emerges when you look at all of these systems together is not a military trying to project power globally. It is a military designed with extraordinary precision to fight and win one specific war. A short, sharp, decisive conflict against the United States in the Western Pacific, in which American carrier groups are sunk, American satellites are blinded, American infrastructure is disrupted, and American forces are paralyzed before reinforcements can arrive from the homeland. This is not speculation. It is documented in Pentagon threat assessments, congressional testimony, and classified intelligence summaries that have been partially declassified. General Mark Milley, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, stated publicly that China represents the most significant threat this country has faced since World War II. Admiral Philip Davidson, former commander of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, told Congress that the window for a Chinese move on Taiwan could come within this decade. That decade is now. Here is what history teaches us about the Assassin's Mace concept. The weapon only works if the enemy doesn't see it coming. And right now, most of America isn't watching. The real question is whether the United States will recognize the nature of this threat before that hidden weapon is drawn. Because by the time it is, the window to respond may already be closed. Does America have an answer to China's Assassin's Mace weapons? Or has the gap grown too wide to close? Drop your thoughts below.